Hi guys, we are continuing with Corals, a practical guide to the reef aquarium. We have reached Fox. This is the section of the polyp stony corals. So Jasmine lettuce ridge. Fox is a beautiful species whose large polyps expand enormously and then fold over a wavy, thin, ridge-like scalp. It prefers dim or indirect light with slow current for full expansion. Colors vary in the pale green and light brown shades. Although sometimes described as difficult to keep, most hobbyists have found it to be quite hardy. Name Nemenzophilia turbida. Lighting needs 2 to 6, water flow low, aggressiveness low, difficulty of care 6. It's very beautiful. Probably one of the prettier ones. Button corals. Button is a unique single polyp that can inflate to a surprising size in the aquarium. It prefers low current to really inflate. Is tolerant of different light conditions. The tissue is typically translucent and glossy. It looks easily punctured. Beneath the tissue, thin blade-like teeth are visible. Button can exist in many colors, including shades of brown, white, yellow, and green. So this is reddish brown with green. Very pretty. And this expanded button is showing its ring of feeding tentacles with the arrow. Lighting 3 to 6, water low, aggressiveness L, difficulty 5. There's the wet, lacquered look, may be a transient phase. With lacquered look. Very cool. Next is red button, donut, flat brain, lacquered cylinder, meat polyp, phonograph tooth. This red button shows a common variation with marbled tissue. There are obvious physical differences of the specimen from the buttons of the same species above. This visual discrepancy leads one to question the ambiguities, contradictions, and inadequacies of taxonomic classification. Name Cinarina lacrymalis. It says the blade-like skeletal teeth help distinguish the buttons from the donut corals. It's a beautiful shade of pink, mauve. The arrows pointing to the skeletal teeth, so-called. More kind of rough versus smooth. So those are the donut corals. Donuts are a single polyp species that are often confused with buttons. Despite their similarity, donuts do not normally poof out as much as buttons. And rounded skeletal teeth give them bumpy appearance. They also have distinct rounded top with leathery appearance to the tissue. Common color variations are red, brown, and green, sometimes striped. Donuts prefer shaded areas as they're typically found under ledges in nature. Bluish green, beautiful colors. Lighting 2 to 6, water low to medium, aggressiveness medium, difficulty 6. It says this specimen is very swollen, making it difficult to distinguish from button. So, donut, it says an unusual variation. So the skeleton. So donut, artichoke, button, Caribbean, beaker, flat brain, large cub mushroom, meat tooth, scientific name, Scolemia australis. It's shown here. And then that one's like pink, light pink with green. Quite beautiful. This one's called red donut, scientific name Scolemia vitiensis. So the same thing except it's red color. Okay. Cup corals are a large group of corals whose species closely resembles each other despite large variety of color and shape morphs. While they have characteristically long polyps resembling flower pots, their skeleton has raised corallites from which the tentacles emerge. Furthermore, the entire skeleton is covered with skin-like tissue. These corals are demanding of good water conditions, but the precise light and current requirements depend a great deal on the part of the reef from which they are taken. Lighting 4 to 9, water medium, aggressiveness low, difficulty 6. They're cool looking, kind of light pinkish brown with green. They look like little tiny plants or cups, I guess, shaped. It says most cup corals are broken off of larger pieces, but they generally heal well. And it's showing where it broke off. Cool looking. It kind of looks like a mossy rock. Cool color. very green. This one is called cup bowl, octopus, pagoda, platter, saucer, turban, base. Cup corals are usually found in brown and gray tones. Scientific name Turbinaria peltata. Yellow cup is like other cup corals, often taken the shape of a folded saucer or cup. Okay, so this one, peltata, is this green one. And then this one right here is Turbinaria frondens. It's a yellow color. And the shape is basically a saucer-like, flattish, open shape. Just like the other one. Except this one is brown. Brownish yellow. Like a beige. It's pretty cool looking. Kind of goldish color. Then we have it's called octopus. And then the polyps on octopus are not as flowery as other cup florals, even though it looks pretty flowery to me from here. Quite flowery and pink. It's very lovely. It says here, note the resemblance of polyps to goniopora. So these polyps, by flowery, I guess they mean not as, they don't have, these are more like, they have a lot of fine, small tentacles. Looks like they have more numerous petals, and this one, they're more simple. They're more, they look like a different kind of flower. Not as quote-unquote hairy or bushy. Octopus can be differentiated from cup by its rubbery-looking skin and tentacles with short ends that look like the suckers of an octopus. The shapes of the ends do look like flowers, pink little small flowers. Scientific name Turbinaria petula. So next is pagoda. It says bowl, cup, lettuce, scroll. Despite descriptions by other authors, pagoda is usually quite distinct from yellow scroll. It has relatively consistent brownish gray or to green color with a heavier convoluted shape. Name is Turbinaria mesenterina. Lighting 4-9, water flow M, aggressiveness L, and difficulty 6. It looks like basically a colorful, multicolored, rainbow-colored rock. That's what it looks like. The colors are quite beautiful. Pinkish, lavenderish, greenish tints. So this is called yellow scroll. It says yellow turbinaria, yellow lettuce. Yellow scroll is a beautiful yellowish-brown species that can form plates, cups, or convoluted ridges. The skeleton is much thinner and smoother than pagoda, and it lacks prominent corallites and rarely extends tentacles. The flatter specimens are somewhat hardier, require less light and water flow. Scientific name Turbinaria reniformis, lighting 4-9, water M, aggressiveness L, difficulty 8. They look like flat saucers or shells, and they're very fine, kind of rounded, semicircle shaped. They don't have long tentacles, green, beige, yellow colors, brownish, very pretty colors. They almost look like lettuce, a little bit. They have small, tiny dots all over the surface, which kind of, they're like lighter colored, highlighted specks. And part of the organism. So, pretty cool looking. That gives them the texture in their body. Now we have some to live. And this is lace coral. This lace coral and 4 others like it has begun to grow on a high quality piece of live rock, although not as fearsome as its fire coral relative. The lacy branches of this hydrocoral are effective filter feeders and have a mild sting. It's like a violet color with beigeish, goldish combination crystals, and scientific name is the Stilaster sp, lighting 2-5, water low to medium, aggressiveness H, and difficulty 7. So pretty cool looking. This is glowing ember. The white tips make this coral look like it is smoldering. This is an uncommonly imported species that is becoming more readily available. It is sometimes found incidentally on Indo-Pacific live rock. Very little is known about its long-term care in reef aquariums, but in nature it is found in caves and overhangs. This is not a true stony coral, but a hydrocoral, closely related to the fire coral. Unlike them, however, it grows very slowly and does not have a powerful sting. Scientific name Disticopora irregularis. Note, some reviewers have suggested that this may actually be a bryozoan and not a coral. Lighting 2-4, water L, aggressive L, difficulty question mark. Well, since they don't really care much for them, it must be hard, I suppose. That makes sense. They look very beautiful, violet color with light green tints and light like ivory color and light goldish brown in the back. Interesting kind of globular roundish type figure. Very lovely. Gorgeous colors. So they kind of compared this, but it's much different in my opinion. This looks more skeletal. Fire corals, despite their appearance, are not true stony corals, but hydrocorals. They have no polyps, only thin hair-like stinging filaments. All fire corals can cause a painful sting on contact. They're fairly hardy in aquarium, prefer bright light, strong current. Common forms include rods, pillars, plates, branches, even encrusting types with a wide array of potential variations. Caribbean species are available through aquaculture only. Lighting 6 to 10, water low to medium, aggressiveness high, difficulty 7. Fire corals, as well as other hydrocorals, possess stinging hairs that aid in protection and feeding. Contact with these censorious hairs has been a painful encounter for divers all over the world. So don't touch it. And then, what it points to says it stings. The stinging fire branching variety of fire coral has many different species. It is common to both Atlantic and Pacific reefs. Its name Millipora alcicornis. Okay, so if you see a little coral that looks like a skeleton or little fingers of a hand, don't touch it. Beige color. Fire plate, stinging. This is only one of the several forms of fire coral. Scientific name, Millipora platyphilia. Fire corals are uniformly cream to mustard brown with white edges or tips, and a color pattern that is clear identifier and warning of fire corals. So this is more plate shaped. It's called fire plate versus the other one, which was a branching, fire branching type. Pipe organ. Pipe organ, pipe red organ, is not a true stony coral, but an octocoral. However, it is included here because it is calcareous. It has a unique skeleton of thin red pipes. Calcareous, excuse me. It has beige and white polyps and thin red pipes that make its unique skeleton. Specimens are often broken off from larger colonies, but fragmented pieces can exist quite well on their own. The coral is prone to attack by bristle worms who eat the polyps, take refuge in the fragile pipes. It's very tolerant of light and current and generally easy to keep. Pipe organ, like blue coral, is solid for its dead skeleton and should never be purchased as a decoration or curio. Scientific name, Tubipora Musica. Lighting 3 to 10, low to high water, aggressive L, difficulty 4. Blue coral. This is a ridge, also called. It's the only member in its family. Blue coral is not a true stony coral either. It's ridge-like, occasionally branching with brownish blue color. It's quite pretty. It's a result of deposit of iron salts in its calcified skeleton. Because its white edges, blue coral can be mistaken for fire coral. However, it's not a hydrocoral, as it has polyps and does not sting. Dead blue coral is regularly sold for its beautiful dried skeleton. Support for this destructive loss of coral can be avoided by refusing to purchase such curios. When alive, blue coral will thrive in an aquarium if given strong light and current. So it's just a beautiful color of violet, goldish, just amazing. Let's go to it. Scientific name Heliopora caerulea, lighting 6 to 10, water high, aggressive L, difficulty 8. The skeleton of the coral is only blue when dead and dried. Please do not purchase as a decoration or curio. It's like a pinkish color. Translucent looking. Okay, rose corals. Rose corals look similar to open brain and flat brain corals. They're similar species, usually only a few inches across. Their tissue is not as heavy as flat brain and affords a clear view of the skeleton below. Yet their skeleton is not conical like the open brains. They're commonly found in colors that include pink, brown, and blue. The rose corals thrive in conditions similar to those required by brain corals. In fact, the only reason they're not included among them is that they're almost never referred to as such. Lighting 4 to 8. They're beautiful. They're more, I guess, smaller and delicate. And the water medium, aggressive medium, difficulty 5. Bright pink color, shaped like a flower. This Caribbean rose, a colored rose, is probably an illegal Caribbean import of the genus Manucina. It is best to inquire about its origin. The inside part is very light, whitish, almost glowing, delicate center there. And fine little things coming out of like extensions. This is called Pacific Rose versus the other one, which is Caribbean Rose. So this is the Pacific Rose is usually a shade of brown. It's like peachy brown, not quite dark brown, and lacks the vibrant colors of its Caribbean counterpart. Scientific name, Welsophilia. It says tissue is not as meaty as Lobophilia. When its tentacles are extended, the Pacific Rose will accept small bits of food, such as shrimp. Pointing. Alert. A rose by any other name? Recently, specimens from the Indo-Pacific have been imported as Welsophilia species. Because of their comparatively recent appearance and questionable taxonomy, there is a possibility that some specimens are actually black-marketed Caribbean rose. Every effort should be made to validate the specimen. This is called tongue, or seamole, or slipper. Tongue resembles a brown cucumber with fine polyp tentacles covering its surface. It is quite hardy and tolerant of light and current conditions, but prefers to be on a sand or rubble bottom where it may actually move around on the bottom like disc. The grooved skeleton of tongue is occasionally branched, so it's more kind of a flat shape. And scientific name, Corrals-a limax. Lighting 4 to 8, water L&M, aggressive M, difficulty 5. It says tongue has prominent groove along top that distinguishes it from slipper. It's like a beigeish, goldish, they have tips that look like little specks of gold. Brownish beige color. And this is called slipper. Fuzzy slipper, hairy slipper. Can I add furry slipper to one of the names? Just kidding. And then it says slipper and tongue are similar in their appearance, like the structure. So the difference between them is obviously the color, and then the skeletal body of slipper does not have grooves on its surface. So that's the grooves they're referring to, like that. And like seams. The polyps also tend to be fuller and thicker on the slipper, which is one. They are fairly easy to care for, preferring sandy bottom, low current with bright light. I don't know where they get the light from at the bottom of the ocean. Polycelia talpina is the name. Some specimens may have branching polyps. There's an arrow. Branching on the tips, the extensions. Lighting for A, water LM, aggressive M, and difficulty is 6. It's just really pure white, very pretty color.